Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. It has been a long day, Andy. Red Eye podcast, meetings, podcast has me in a little bit of a fragile state. So apologies to anyone listening, but this is also
I did a
30,
golf one today too. It's not even a golf week.
This is also number 32 of 32. So congratulations. We made it to the end of the very, very grueling preview series, although I think we did our jobs.
I love these.
Yeah.
It is a grind. These are more of a grind. The one where you do two in a day because Drew's traveling and has meetings tomorrow or whatnot. And then Thursday, I am completely skipping work and going to the Great Minnesota Get Together all day. Love the fair. I'm gonna eat some weird shit and enjoy some really nice weather. It looks like. So, yeah, we will. If you're listening in podcast form, it's already Thursday because I have not released it until then. I'm gonna spread those out. Friday, we're hoping to do some sort of recap / award show. Time to be announced. We'll figure it out. We got a lot of time because right now it is Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and honestly, I don't.
It's too hot to be wearing a jacket.
Yeah, it's more of a shacket.
It is too. I know it's a very light jacket, but the sun is nice right now. It is too warm. Sorry, man. Carry on.
My cousin is getting married at the fair. Aw.
Wow.
Romance is in the air. Oh, the Kelsey got engaged.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an upset, huh? I didn't think it was going to happen. This is probably the last possible day it could have happened, right?
Why? Because they can't get engaged during the football season?
Probably not. No, you're locked in, man. Wait, how are you have enough time to arrange that floral display and pull off the histrionics that's involved?
Somebody asked, he's like, was that at a Rainforest Cafe? There were some good ones, but that one just made me laugh. I actually pulled up the picture.
Do those exist anymore?
Oh, we have one at the Mall of America.
You do?
I go at least once a year. My kids still love it. Let's go to that place where there's like thunderstorms. I'm like, that place is kind of expensive for basically fucking Applebee's food, but we'll go there. I mean, it is. It's not bad, but you're paying a lot.
Applebee's catching strays correctly. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations to those crazy lovebirds. Proven that true love still exists. We're all happy for you.
The first couple to ever get engaged.
Hey man, they made it. You know, like sometimes when you have that much fame and that much power, and things pull you apart. You know,
love can pull you apart.
She's from Nashville. He's from Kansas City. You know, like where do you even meet in the middle? St. Louis. Anyway. Let's talk about the Texans, man. Let's get to this because people are curious. I'm sure.
My main take, Drew, was
what's that?
Like when I started digging back into this, and some of this research I did weeks ago, as I was just like compiling notes and my notes to have podcast form. But then you have to update your shit because, like, oh man, a lot of stuff happened in camp and there's injuries but when I first ran into this team, it's like, yeah, what a disappointing season and what a bad season for CJ Stroud. And then you go like look at everything, and it was like, it wasn't really a bad season for him. And they won a playoff game. Like it was actually a pretty decent season for a team. Like what, 2 years ago, or like, fuck, we're starting over, new coaches, a lot of new players, a lot of bullshit to put up with. Like they just overperformed so much in his rookie year that I think
he took a decent step backwards, right? So relatively,
I don't know by stat wise, it wasn't like a step backwards. It was semi-lateral, honestly. And considering the injuries he had to his important wide receivers, I think it was probably a pretty decent year. You know, okay. You'd love to see him take a huge leap forward and really become the elite of the elite. But yeah, in my mind, it was like bad year. And then you're like, fuck, you were in the divisional round, man. You won a playoff game.
I don't know. It was an okay year. I thought the Texans, the fact that it was even a close call to win their division.
What was their expectation, though?
I mean, they were in a miserably soft division. They should have waltzed. They should have walked. They should have dog walked the AFC South.
You
they should have been.
You lost important pieces on the offense like every week. It felt like you lost Nico for a good chunk of time.
I know, but in year two of that regime, in year 2 of CJ Stroud, with all the investments they made on the offense, you shouldn't have been a no contest against the other competitor in your conference in the Ravens at Christmas.
See, that was on that a little.
Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, they did make a bunch of investments in the offense. None of them were the people who protected your biggest investment, really, like that mattered. You didn't fix anything. You had one good player. He's been partially hurt for like 5 years. And he was the second most sacked behind. I mean, there's a fucking gap. It's crazy, the gap between Caleb and him. But he was the second most sacked quarterback and the most pressured. Like,
yeah.
And he actually had good grades against pressure or good stats. It's hard when you're wide receiver 1, you're wide receiver 2, and one of your other wide receivers gets hurt, and you're the most pressured quarterback in the damn league. I think I'm softening on, because where I was at was the same mindset as you. Like, why didn't he take some huge step forward last year? Like, we were so excited. So I remember the expectations were high preseason.
Of course, because the year before, people forget the offensive line was like brutally injured. They were trotting out third stringers who had never, practice string, redshirt freshmen, like equivalent guys at tackle that we had never heard of. And they were up against the likes of the, Steelers in the middle of the season. They win. And you're just like, man, if they can do this with an offensive line of, jamokes, when they have their full strength unit, and the investments they made at the wide receiver, and they went and got like, you looked at all the sub parts at the end of the season, and you're like, this team should be challenging for the 1 seed, and they didn't challenge anyone who was in the mix for a 1 seed except they beat the Bills, right? They beat the Bills.
I think I didn't look too hard at the schedule. I was mostly focused on that.
I think they did, but you got run at the end of the season when you're supposed to be peaking into form for a playoff push. You got beat soundly by the top 2 teams in your division, in your conference, including an absolute embarrassment in your playoff, your playoff warm up against Baltimore. And so, like, when you kind of step back and you look at it all, you're like, okay, your defense was good enough to get the best out of a good, not great quarterback in Herbert on the road, thanks to generating an absolutely obscene amount of pressure. Like, cool. Then you didn't really challenge the Chiefs in that second round game. It wasn't really that close. And I know that, like, they absolutely should have covered that game. We could have a whole conversation about that. But there was very little of that game where their win probability was over 25%.
And I mean, my main take now, based on, as Drew moves for the 3rd time, he's going to find a spot.
I just got to get my bags out of the sun. All my shit's going to get fucked up. Yeah.
You're like my dog when he's trying to go to bed. He's really
well. I didn't know it was cloudy. Getting a direct sun, and then the sun came out and it's just blazing, and all like when your phone overheats and it just shuts down.
Your phone is no longer charging.
Yeah, it's no longer working. It's not working. You get the red thermometer on it. Oof, it's bad.
So everything we've said. And like, we're gonna cut this short. This is gonna be a 9-minute preview show. What has changed? It's still an elite defense with a bunch of really good pass rushers, a top 5 secondary, a bottom 3 offensive line, and then the same players essentially, minus Diggs, and I don't know. Like, aren't we just going to get the same results? I suppose. Honestly, I looked at my rating.
I looked at my
ratings from last year, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to move very much, because I don't think I feel very differently about any of these position groups other than the wide receivers are healthy.
I disagree. I think I think all of the defense was lateral. Maybe you can even argue that with, kind of another year of that young secondary stepping forward, maybe it's even better.
It's hard to predict a great defense getting even better, though. For sure.
There's no doubt.
To do that.
a lot of their best players are really young. They are, so they could.
Yeah, but they were
better.
already my number one defense, you know?
Yeah, and so like the defense could get better. I doubt the defense gets worse, even though we will say ad nauseum, as everyone says ad nauseum, defense is much less predictable year over year. But the defense is extremely talented. I don't think there's any arguing that. The bigger question for me is just that the skill group took a step backwards. You now, like, your number 2, Dalton Schultz, running back room looks not great. Wide receiver 2 and 3, there's leaps of faith here. This is like CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, and the offensive line looks worse. You traded Laramie Tunsil, and I know he was a walking penalty last year, but that guy can pass protect his ass off. Like, this is now a real questionable O-line, a weaker skill position group, and you're turning over offensive coordinators, presumably an upgrade, because the guy that they let go of, we did not have especially high regard for him, Bobby Slowick. But it doesn't necessarily mean for sure that you found a hit and that the new guy is going to have all the answers. Maybe he does. But with less parts and weaker offensive line play, it might be a bad offense this year. And CJ Stroud, this is the hot take that I kind of have brewing for the Texans. I kind of am. I mean, CJ Stroud is a fine quarterback. He's better than what a lot of other teams have. So don't misconstrue what I'm about to say. But I think the bar was set very high for him at the end of his rookie season, thanks to the breakout of Nico Collins as like a wide receiver, a true wide receiver 1, right? I think the fact that Nico Collins went bonkers to the second half of 2023 and carried that into 2024 before he got hurt. Like, I want to say it. I'm gonna say it this year at some point. Is CJ Stroud a Nico Collins merchant? Because there's a lot of other stuff about what he did where the signal you're getting, the positive EPA per play stuff, it was on kind of fragile, third downy, the long down and distance plays that could have, you're asking him to do a hell of a lot. And eventually he stopped being able to create magic on those plays. So I don't know if it's just innately in him to do it. So I don't know. I could have an entirely different opinion and be making the case for him as the MVP at the end of this year. And maybe that's where we get with this guy. But I'm prepared to say that the range of outcomes for how we feel about him at the end of the year is wide.
I think you're trying to disagree with me, but everything you said is kind of where I'm at. I had a pretty even with Tunsil, I had an incredibly low offensive line grade. I did lower it. I did lower it a little.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of room to lower it. Stroud is fine, but as somebody's mentioning, Stroud's certainly not in the elite. I don't think that was even a conversation coming into next. I think some people thought maybe his ceiling was that, but he's like 13th, 14th best quarterback. That's kind of where he's at right now. And honestly, I didn't have the skill position group that high at the end of the year. There was a lot of guys that were just in and out, coming back from injuries. Tank Dell had his stuff. Obviously, Nico was back at that point, but I wasn't super in love with what they were doing in the running game at times either. And the running game has probably taken a little bit of a step back from where I would have it at the end of the year. So my offensive numbers are not that different from the end of the year because I was still kind of low on those.
Okay, so then where that number should be anchored then? A team that was 3-point dogs at home to the Chargers.
Well, Chargers are just
that's not a very good team.
That's not a cursed squad at all. That's fine.
Well, forget about the outcome of the game. The market closed 3. I assume. Unless I'm misremembering. I got 3. I don't remember what it closed. But that was an obscenely large number for a home team in the playoffs with good home field advantage. That is telling you that, and the Chargers were not a +4, I don't think. So that the Texans finished the season a-. So if you don't have any upgrades, you should start with a minus, I feel like, right? What am I missing?
I'm trying to think of why that Chargers team was rated that high.
Were they rated +4, you think? I don't think they were rated +4.
Let me, you know what? Let me pull up my numbers. Let me look at my ratings for the end of the year. That'd be interesting because I kind of forgot about that spread. I mean, the Texans are just kind of in a weird spot. So at the end of the year, my Texans number was Houston. We have a problem. I mean, just it's funny. My Texans number was just around even, and then my Chargers number was LAC. See, I had Chargers like a point better. I wonder if I should go look. I don't remember betting the Chargers in that game, but
the Texans, you mean?
Or I don't think I bet that game.
That's the only side that we made any kind of a strong case for a wild card weekend. Them in Buffalo.
How do I not remember this game being that wrong? I'm gonna have to go look at my pen or my bet history at this point.
I'm not misremembering, right? It closed Chargers. Did it close Chargers?
Yes,
at least 2.5, not or 3, right?
Chargers 3 at times, and yeah, I essentially would make it a pick 'em on a neutral, which means it was 6 point off my number. Well, I certainly hope I bet that. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't think. And here's the thing: my Houston number was lower. I mean, in like week 13, 14, 15, I had them as like a +1.5, +2 in that general vicinity. Whereas the Chargers just kind of vacillated around the 1 for a good chunk of the second half of the year.
Yeah, that's
like I would have never had the Chargers.
That's what they are. They in perpetuity.
Who is a +4 at the end of the year? Teams that were +4: Green Bay, Minnesota, like Kansas City was like 4.9. You know, those are not the Chargers. This
no.
is weird.
Yeah.
And then God, I feel like we did bet. Maybe we bet against them.
Well, perception was all fucked up because of that Christmas game.
I want to listen to that.
Baltimore going in there and punking them. Really, I mean, that just basically it was like, oh, well, you can't trust Houston. They're drawing dead, right? Like that it really affected market perception of Houston that game. And it wasn't fair because Baltimore was just that good and they matched up well. All right. The general kind of vibe though is they matched up well because you really just have Nico Collins. And if you have a coverage that can double Nico Collins and make it more difficult for CJ Stroud to make that killer play to him, then all of a sudden it's a sack, it's a throwaway, it's a negative play. And I am very much eyes wide open where if this is a half of a season of you can't quite get to Nico, CJ Stroud continues to be significantly under duress. Does this like permanently affect his development? Like, do you break him? Right? Like it's kind of in the cards if the coordinator doesn't do a good job, if the protection doesn't miraculously improve, like people are saying it might. I'll believe when I see it. But you know, I think this is a pretty pivotal season for CJ, and I gotta tell you that only thing he's got going for him is this defense looks like absolute world killers, and he is in a very, very soft division. The 3 teams we've covered so far, my best number was Jacksonville as a -2 point something, 2.8. I forget. We just covered them and I can't remember, but they're almost a -3 for me. You -1 something for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's your best. That's your scariest competition, the Jags, with the 31st best defense. Like, you should still win this division. But if you don't, like, and if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you can't get to Collins because they got him bracketed with 2 safeties, like this could get bad. What's plan B? Where are we going? Dalton Schultz?
Oh, for sure. Dalton Schultz isn't bad. You're acting like it's a guy we've never heard of playing. Like
Schultz and Stroud have never been on the same page.
Irv Smith, that's because Dalton or CJ Stroud had a free rusher in his face.
And you also could use a tight end that could pass block a little better, or at least contribute in the blocking game.
You kind of went volume because you went and got Harrison Bryant, and you have Irv Smith on the roster too, Irv Smith Jr. So a bunch of tight ends, but and Mixon his foot is disintegrating is the news. Nick Chubb.
Does he have 2 feet? Is this like a Najee Harris situation? Have you
Najee
seen
Harris
Joe?
is on the fucking roster, dude. He's starting week 1. You see
I know,
that?
but have you seen Joe Mixon's second foot? Does he have a
I
second
do
foot?
not have proof of life on that second foot.
No, somebody who would know has been consistently telling us this offseason that he'll never take another NFL snap. If you haven't already heard that, then you're hearing it now. So Joe Mixon's not in the handicap here. Sorry, guys. But no, this looks like a weak. This is a weak skill outside of Nico Collins, who's a god. This is a weak skill position group and a weak offensive line and a offensive coordinator that we have no guarantees, knows how to draw a plus CV scheme or sequencing. Sequencing was always so bad under Slowick. If he can just be an average sequencer, that might help this offense, honestly. But like, yeah, this is a pretty pivotal season for Mr. Stroud. They're going to pay him either way, probably, right?
I hate this when we get the new OC and it's just like he came from here and that should be good, right? But I don't know. More often than not, it's been okay. It's been okay. Nick Callie, Callie he's saying the right things where it's not like I'm bringing in the system that we used here and this is what we're doing. He said, I have a good quarterback. We're going to be West Coast principled, but it's going to be, leveraging the talents of our good players. Like, square
Nico Collins.
The square peg.
Our good player.
And I mean, even without, honestly, who knows how good Mixon would have been if his foot was fine. But like Nick Chubb, we'll see, Damian Pierce. There's a bunch of guys that have taken plenty of snaps. They say it's going to be, that was the other, core tenet. It was going to be pretty balanced, which might help him not get hit as much and not pressure as much because his offensive line's looking a little weak. But Ryans loves him, says, he's got the technical skills, but he's been a good leader and, communicating with the troops and all that. I don't know. You just say nice things. You're not going to be like, we hired this OC. And I honestly, guys, between you and me, don't think he's going to make it.
Do you guys know any? You guys got any other tips for me? Any Rex? Any Rex?
You guys have a list of people. Here's
was
my
Mike
email.
McDaniel fired yet?
Send me some resumes, and like the same thing with Stroud. Stroud's like, he's putting all this trust in me, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic because, like you said, some of the planning and sequencing seem to not understand what the weakness. It's one thing to say, like, we're going to play to our strengths. There's also the opposite of that. We have to play away from our weaknesses. Like, hey, here's a play that 80% of the time it's going to get fucking blown up by the other team because we can't protect for that long. Boy, if it works, we're getting 9 yards. It's like, no, let's just push those aside and use our goddamn brain. So I think that's kind of where we're at. We'll see, because my biggest takeaway again from this team is the offensive line somehow got worse.
I agree. And
you just felt like going into the offseason, that's got to be number one. They got to address that immediately, right? There's probably going to be 2 or 3, and instead they start trading players away.
And they didn't even get a first-round pick out of that Jackson Dart trade somehow. Team traded up for their quarterback, and the Texans didn't manage to get a future first out of it. I thought that was ended. I thought Houston could have done better.
Anything.
Yeah. 27 first. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Giants, even a Giants second next year is probably going to be pick 33. You might as well ask for something else. Anyway, I didn't really love what they got in that trade personally. Anyway. Yeah. No, you're right. You would have thought going into the offseason, mission number 1, we don't touch the defense. Mission number 2, fix the offensive line. And instead they kind of tore down the offensive line, and they're going to try to hope and pray that the pieces that they brought in, which are wildly unproven, are all going to work. And I am concerned.
I'm slightly concerned as well, Drew. So, and Cal, who is a resident
under every week, especially week 1, it's still 44, man. That week 1 total is still 44. The defense is
going to be electric, and you're breaking in a new offensive coordinator, and you have 1.5 good receivers. So,
and you're against a team with an up and coming young defense with a very violent pass rush.
Well, and if Callie is truly saying like we're going to be a balanced approach, we're going to run the ball more. That's going to slow things down as well.
Maybe
It's
Nick
quickly
Chubb
gonna
has
be an
1 week
underhand.
in him. I don't know. Who knows?
I think Nick Chubb has he still has the chops to be, a viable 2-down back.
There's a reasonable world where Dameon Pierce has a featured role in this
Or
offense.
Dare Ungabale.
Yeah, it might be Dare. It might be. It might be.
All right, off season. You want to get into that, or you got anything else?
Yeah, go. I do have one other thing. CJ Stroud developing a little bit of a reputation of maybe you can't trust him in the regular season, but in the playoffs you don't mind betting on him. He in his playoff debut just put an absolute beatdown on a Browns team that had a good defense. And in his follow-up debut, he was able to keep his composure despite the offensive line problems against the Chargers defense that was playing well at the time. So there is scope for CJ Stroud's at home in the playoffs. Number doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know a sample size of 2 is small. I'm not an idiot. But he was very cool, calm, collected, clutch in both those games, I thought. There wasn't even like a lot of plays where you're like, what are you doing, buddy? Also, you can actually go back even a step further. The game that they played to get into the playoffs the year before where they beat the Colts. Do you remember that game? He was awesome in that one too. The season finale that qualified. Yeah, the season finale that qualified. It might have been the second to last game of the season, but it was a big, high-profile game. They put it in standalone position, and he was flat out awesome against the Colts team that was winner was in, and Stroud punched his ticket. It was great. So every time we've seen him at home asked to do something good, he's done it.
Cam's not 100% goofing here. This if you think Bill is a nice shortened name for, I can't think of his name now, Krosky up there. Woody is a good one. Jacory. So Woody Marks' real name is Jaquavius DeQuain. So
okay,
we shorten that to Woody. I like this guy. USC? USC rookie 4th rounder, but he looks kind of decent in the preseason when he's running. So maybe somebody gets involved, because why not? You know what you have in Dare, you know what you have in Dameon Pierce. Give that kid a few carries next week, see what happens. So might be involved, because Mixon isn't sound like he's coming back anytime soon. Again, our reports are maybe ever. It might be just the end of his football playing career. And let's get into the offseason, because we're already spoiling some of the draft picks. The biggest thing, obviously, was the getting Nick Callie from the Rams. Some motion heavy, balanced approach, make Stroud efficient, create easier reads, more diverse run game. Everybody loves him so far. We will see. Laramie Tunsil was traded to the Commanders. Christian Kirk was traded for him from the Jaguars. He's one of your top 3 receivers, which is, we'll see. Other guys still got to get healthy, and they did also acquire CJ, who is a little dinged up right now, but might be good to go next week. Signed Cam Robinson at left tackle. Now they may trade or drop him because he is not even your stopgap left tackle. He's behind the rookie from Minnesota at this point. Sheldon Rankins you went and got to bolster your interior. Kind of a luxury pick, luxury addition for a really good front 7. Laken Tomlinson, another offensive lineman. He's going to be your left guard, because you need people. You got Braxton Berrios, it's a depth piece, maybe a returner. Justin Watson, another one, depth piece on the wide receiver spot. And then you re-signed a few guys that you needed to. I don't know, the rest of the signings were kind of Darrell Taylor. He's going to be rotational behind Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter, but it's good to have extra bodies up there so that they're not playing 70 snaps a game. And then, your draft, you traded back with New York, and you drafted Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. wide receiver. We'll see. I mean, he's your guy. He's going to go because you need wide receivers at this point. Tank Dell's still out, and Xavier Hutchinson maybe hasn't progressed to the spot you need him yet. So he fast as shit, big dude, 6'4". You might have that if he pans out. This offense is upticking for sure because, like you said, if nobody but Nico is good, it's like, well, let's just double him and make you throw it to Dalton Schultz and see how that goes for you. But yeah, he's they're saying like he's your X. It might be he's your X receiver, and Nico is just like complimentary to that, as good as he is, which would be kind of awesome for a second round pick. Like I mentioned, the Minnesota tackle, Arante Erisuri. Never been good at his name, even though he played for my Gophers. Athletic as shit, just a little raw. It sounds like he's still your left tackle because Cam Robinson is that bad at playing football. You drafted 2 wide receivers from Iowa State. Another third rounder, Jalen Noel, speedy slot guy, which you already have Christian Kirk, but it would be awful cool if this guy were just better than Christian Kirk. And you had 2,
and he might be
2 guys that were teammates last year. Playing together. Iowa State is the new LSU. Wide receiver U. Jalen Smith, USC, the corner. It's kind of a strength. You already have 3 really good corners, but it's always nice to bring a guy in and have somebody. Apparently he can play man. He can absolutely step in if needed. And then, like I mentioned, Woody Marks from USC as well. And then some depth guys after that, a lot of round 6 and round 7. They had 4 picks in round 6 and 7. They drafted Graham Mertz. Remember that the other day?
Yeah.
He played.
Hadn't seen or thought of him in a while. I don't know,
draft,
man.
And then as we mentioned, Mixon, IR, NFI out for at least the first game. It does sound like the wide receiver 3 slot battle is kind of up in the air-ish still with Higgins and Noel. Noel. I like Christmas better.
Noel.
Kind of, Noel pushing Kirk, and then there's a possibility up front. They don't even really have their offensive line 100%, I think, locked in and ready to go, because Tomlinson is probably left guard, and then Titus Howard to be a right tackle then.
Jesus.
I mean, it's just like a bunch of bad players competing for 5 spots. Christian Harris is back at linebacker. He was somebody that was hurt. I'm trying to think what his injury was last year, but he missed some time. Sounds like he's looking good in camp. And then they do love the Higgins kid in camp.
It would be kind of surprising to me if there were 2 rookies who could just step in and be awesome, serviceable left tackles taken outside of the top 15 picks this year. And it sounds like Simmons is one of them. I don't know that this other guy is just going to be boom, bang, ready to go week 1. He's a Minnesota guy. They make him big up here. They make him big up there. They feed him something in that water. I mean, it would surprise me if this offensive line starts the season anything better than like replace minus, right?
Yeah.
Like Tomlinson,
6'6", 330.
Tomlinson, Ingram.
Grew up on barbecue.
You know who else came from Minnesota, Andy? Ed Ingram, the guy that couldn't do a damn thing last year in the interior, to the tune of they ran to the free agency market to replace him. Like, this is, I guess, like the Garrett Bradbury in New England thing. Like,
whoa.
What?
We're mixing it up. Ed Ingram was a LSU Tiger. I'm saying Minnesota Gophers. He played for he's a rookie for the Gophers.
Ed Ingram was in Minnesota Vikings last year, and he was terrible.
Yeah, I know. He was and it's funny, Ed Ingram.
I didn't mean he was a Minnesota Gopher.
Well, that Ersary, that left tackle, he was a Minnesota Gopher last year.
Okay.
Whereas
I knew.
He's from Texas.
I knew that. No, I meant the Vikings ran Ingram out of town.
No.
You're a big part of the reason that freaking you guys lost those last 2 games. From what I remember, if he was even on the field at that point, I don't remember. No, he was. Yeah, my grade for him was minus last year. Let me look at.
I do need to mention Juice Scruggs is still on this team. He should be a backup interior lineman. So you have that going for you, which is nice.
Ingram did not play any of the snaps in your loss to Detroit. He lost his starting job or he was hurt after week 10. So whatever the case was, I didn't have an especially flattering opinion of him last year. And now you're counting on Tomlinson, who couldn't make it in Seattle, and Ingram, who couldn't make it in Minnesota. Two notably weak interior offensive lines last year are now on board. I mean, this group looks
a rookie
problematic. At least you brought in
and
Jake Andrews.
Howard.
Jake Andrews from the very, very valuable New England offensive line last year, Andy. Like, these guys are cast-offs from teams that couldn't field serviceable lines. What are we doing?
They just didn't want to fix it, I guess. Said one more year of punishing CJ Stroud to really teach him. And then maybe we'll fix this offensive line.
Cam Robinson,
they're all
crashed.
bad. That's what I'm saying. It downgraded the offensive line. It was already one of the worst in the league for me.
Okay, all right. Enough is enough. I guess. We failed to mention one important thing in the offseason, Andy. They paid Derek Stingley. They got a team friendly deal. I thought that was really smart of them.
Tough corner, man.
Paying Stingley was the right call. And unlike many other teams for weird reasons we can't understand, just drag their feet and paying the guys that they draft and develop. The Texans just paid him.
Maybe within the same state.
All right. Definitely within the same state. Let's look at their schedule if that works for you.
It does. That's about it for the offseason. The line was broken, and they
elected not to fix it.
bring in some Ed Ingram, man.
Yeah. All right. Houston has a somewhat challenging schedule. They're not really favored by that much in many games. 6-point favorites. Hosting the Titans week 4 is your most likely win. 6-point favorites. Only 3 other games where you're favored by outside of a field goal, including Jacksonville, Vegas, and Indy, all at home. You should win those 4 home games, I think, pretty comfortably. And then everything else on here is going to be fucking war. Seriously. Like, you're not dogs that badly, except in the 3 contests that you almost certainly will lose against Baltimore, Buffalo, and KC.
Yeah, those are toughies.
Tough, very, very hard to see how
they call them toughies.
Your defense might hold those offenses into the mid-20s, Andy, but I'm not sure how your offense is getting to the mid-20s to match. So I'm going to say you're starting out pretty much 4-3 with your hard and your easy games, and then every other one of these games is a coin flip, from what I can tell you. So this could end up being 5-12. 12-5. I don't know. There's a huge range of outcomes for the Texans this year.
Yeah, if there's nobody on the offensive line that surprises even a little, and it truly is, 30, 31st, 32nd worst, and he's just constantly under pressure again, it's really hard to implement that fun new offense. And we'll run the ball more, which is also hard when guys are in the backfield off run blitzes.
I guess what would you say?
It just feels like such a big handicap to start the season. It's just we have just such a bad offensive line to start with, and like their ceiling is like the 25th, 24th best offensive line.
Yeah, that's
like even if they overperform, it's like you have a bottom 10 offensive line. No matter what, you don't know what you have yet in these rookie wide receivers, so you might. Your second best wide receiver maybe Christian Kirk, and you have a rebuilt running back that's come off a couple major injuries. So yeah, if the offense stinks, this is the opposite of some of the teams we talked about, where it's like, hey, this is gonna be fun. The Jags are gonna be fun to watch, and it's gonna be a lot of points. This might be awful. Like, they're losing games where their defense holds teams to 10 points, and it's just atrocious football.
There's definitely a world where, like, when they're up against a really good offense and a team with an imbalanced team the other way, and it's strength on strength, weakness on weakness, like, those are going to be unbettable games. Unless there's like a specific distinction that you can, some specific matchup you can key on. My general sense is that the system, and I hate we keep harping on the same point, but sorry, I'm tired. Nick Colley comes. Nick Colley, you're still recovering from Vegas, I'm sure. They say that every day it takes you a day to recover for every day you're there. Have you heard that?
Dude, that's taking me into week 2.
Yeah, I know it. All right. Nick Colley comes from the Rams, right, Andy?
Yeah.
When McVay has an offense that is really humming, it's really clicking. The wheels are greased. The gears are greased. It is on the back of outstanding run blocking, great production from the running back, and solid pass pro with 5. I do not know that I can say with a straight face that we're going to get anything good out of Nick Colley with this group of skill. And this, I'm sorry, not just skill position players, but with the talent that exists beyond CJ and Nico. It just doesn't seem like he's been given the tools to succeed with how a Sean McVay type offense usually succeeds. Is this overstating things?
It's I don't want to say grasping at straws because that's so negative, but it's who knows? It's a big who knows. And I think, if they are able to run this West Coast style offense where he's not being asked to drop back and take these, longer developing plays.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fine, especially to start. Like start with that and then work your way up after we get a little more continuity on the line, a little more continuity with, even if they're not both starting, one of those rookies is probably your 4th receiver. Like they're playing.
Yeah.
So you got 3 rookies that are very much contributing to your offense. Maybe 4 if that running back is part of the equation. Let's take it nice and easy.
All right. Well, looking at the schedule in a little more detail here, your 2 Monday Night Football games both look interesting. Maybe the battle of who is the best defense week 7 as you take on Seattle Seahawks, where you're coming off your bye and you have a little rest advantage. That's a really fun one. You got the I wonder why my kickoff time says 10 p.m. there. It's not a 10 p.m. kickoff. No way.
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy. I must have made a mistake. It should be 7.
Is it a double week?
You think that's a 7 p.m. Pacific kickoff?
They do those double weeks.
Can you check that and tell me?
I'm looking that up right now. Remember how they would just throw those random double?
But would they stack them that way to where they're at 10 p.m. Eastern kickoff?
So is that October 20th?
November 20th. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. October 20th.
Yeah, no, the internet computer says 7 p.m. I think you're wrong.
All right, sorry.
That's like Nova Scotia time.
10 p.m. in Iceland time.
Yeah. 10 p.m. Reykjavik time.
2 Monday Night Football games both look fun. Tampa and Seattle. A Buffalo Thursday Night Football game that looks really tough for you. Although you have a travel advantage over Buffalo, who's coming to town. And then a scheduled loss against the Chiefs. That spot sucks. It's wild that the Texans keep having to go play Kansas City in the winter in these rest disadvantage games. This is deja vu all over again from the playoffs and the other game that they had last year. So good luck. Feels like an L. The fact that you have a bunch of travel disadvantage early in the season makes me think that this could be a pretty uneven start to the year. These are some really tough games and before your bye too. Rams, Tampa, Baltimore, elite offenses. They're going to test you. Jacksonville, good offense. Tennessee, who knows what you get by week 4, but yeah, that pass rush for the Rams, excellent. Pass rush for the Bucks, excellent. Pass rush for the Ravens, dangerous. Like this could get ugly for Stroud in the first 5 weeks in terms of pressure and sacks.
You
And
want a stupid hot take about early in the season too?
yeah, what do you think?
So what is the biggest strength of this team?
It is their pass rush.
What is the saying about something sharpens something?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, what if their pass rush just sucks to start the season because they've been playing against the worst offensive line? They've been practicing again, like, oh, we're not getting any better. This sucks. Like, I'm not even trying. Guy fell over his own shoe. This left tackle had his shoes tied together. What's going on? I don't think that'll be bad. I was just thinking about that. Like, what a mismatch in practice every day.
Yeah, Bulls on parade, man. That pass rush for the Texans is, goddamn, are they talented looking group. Yeah, I think there's definitely a world where you're 0-5 in the bye. It's not very often. You probably are winning one of those Jags Tennessee games at week 3, week 4, but 1-4 feels possible. Are the alarms just ripping? Are people freaking out if they're 1-4 at the bye week? Because they've generally started pretty well, despite, a little uneven, right? Like, if it's a bad start, like, what are the vibes like?
It feels 2-2, and then the Tampa game is the leverage.
I feel like you probably already want to bet Tampa right now at that price. Don't you?
It's in Houston. I don't know. Like, without Wirfs, I don't know if I love the matchup there. I think that's probably a good number. That's a game I'd leave alone.
All right. So you think 3-2 is possible? Okay.
Yeah, 3-2 is possible. Honestly, my 2-3 feels likely. 0-5 would be 0-5 would be like, we need a new coach.
Yeah.
We need to talk. The papers be going nuts.
Yeah. Well, you have a gauntlet of defenses with Seattle, San Fran to a degree, and Denver. I'm assuming San Fran's better by then, but who knows? Maybe it is just 2 good defenses with Seattle and Denver. And then the defenses get soft as you get Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo, Indy, KC, Arizona, Vegas, Chargers, Indy. I think the best defense in that stretch after you play Denver is probably Arizona, maybe KC. But I think there's definitely a world where
Chargers could be all right.
There's definitely a world where the
defense turns out.
Okay. At least none of those defenses that I named has an especially violent pass rush, which is kind of the thing that is going to undo you, I think. And I think for that reason, there's definitely a potential for a Texans arc this year where it's not looking great at the bye. It goes down as they play Seattle and Denver, and then they come out of the pits of hell. And people are saying, like, actually, you know what? This is a dangerous team. The offensive line's playing a little better. They're getting a little cohesion. They're finally learning their jobs, Andy. They're looking better. And it's really just a matter of playing some softer teams finally. And I think I'm kind of head on a swivel for that. Ooh. And, let's there's definitely a world where
you might have been right there. It might be the doubleheader. So I just pulled up, like the generic Google schedule.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Oh, those suck. I like more football.
You don't want to stay off till 10:30 your time to do a halftime show?
They do get so late. I'm showing 9 p.m. Central for the start time for that game. So they have it. I bet they have at least 2 of those again. We have the double on Monday.
Okay, so the schedule was right. We
you were right.
We correction and retraction.
We retracted a retract.
We retracted a retract. No. But no, I think with
touchdown scored -110.
That's a good one. Second half under. You know what? We're not going to do a halftime show. Just play second half under, guys. All right. In seriousness, there's a world where I think things are looking bleak through 9 weeks, and we're trying to make a decision about whether we bet on the Texans to claw back into control of the AFC South after that Denver game. What do you think?
Clues. I don't know. This is a team I'm very not convicted about because of the offense and what it needs to become.
Okay.
I think it's going to be, we might be able to say, hey, look, they're getting better because of the softer schedule. But if we've really seen an offense that just isn't getting it, even that, I'm not super willing to put money behind it.
Do you think 5-12 is possible?
Yes, like you said, both of those, the 12-5, 5-12 stuff is definitely out there. If the offense is just again like 50 sacks and a million pressures, and the running game never really gets going, the rookies don't turn out, 5-6 games is in the mix.
Yeah, we've definitely seen
alt under, alt over.
We've definitely seen number 1, number 2-ish defense on paper heading into the season finish in the 20s. That's happened. It happened last year. I would point to the Jets as a good example. I would point to the Browns as a good example. Now, those were truly dysfunctional offenses. But there's scope here for this defense to be exactly who we thought they were, and it just doesn't ever work. 8.5 wins implied. And you know what? That Buffalo at Indy at KC 3-peat pack there, that's going to keep me off of these guys until way late, if ever, I think.
Yeah. No, it just takes a couple of
man.
It doesn't have to be Cam Ward as Jaden Daniels, but suddenly Tennessee is a middle of the pack team because he's that good. And then you take one of your, you were expecting to probably win 2 of those, maybe 1-1, maybe worse. Like it's every year we have teams like this that, the offense didn't click, and didn't matter how good the defense was, and they lost 5 fewer games, or they won 5 fewer games than they were supposed to. But like you said, if the offense finds its way to being top half of the league, you can win a dozen games.
It's not even losing 5 fewer than it's supposed to. They're supposed to win like 8.5, man.
It's not that much fewer. It's winning 3 fewer games. Like 3 coin tosses don't go your way, and you're a 5-12 team.
That's crazy. Yeah, so certainly it's in the realm of possibility, but so is to the good, I think, because again, the defense could just be world eaters. Houston's ratings. Let's rip through these. I have a 4.34 QBOC.
Oh boy, I have way too many things open, buddy.
I'm under par here. I'm a hair under Jacksonville here, and it feels a little disrespectful. And I'm pretty far down compared to where I was with these guys heading into last season. So I'm being a little bit influenced by the fact that he was a negative EPA per play quarterback last year.
All right. So I had Jacksonville as where'd I have them? I had them as like a 6. I mean, the way I'm rating, and I said that was more Liam than, Trevor. I still have CJ Stroud as an above average quarterback. I don't know much about this coordinator. Let's just call him neutral. It's still a 6 for me. This is the difference in my numbers. It's still a very good quarterback. Not great, not top 10 yet right now, but he's damn close. And I'm going to drag the rest of the thing down with my 1.25 in the offensive line.
Certainly a world where I eat crow on this. I'm ready. 3.1 for skill group for me. Nico Collins gets 2.9 of that 3.1 by himself. Yeah. I really don't like anyone else.
I'm a little higher on just because I think they have the depth that, running. It's not nobody that might be great, but you definitely have some running backs that can at least tote the rock enough. The tight end room could be better, but Nico, for me, takes it to a 4.5. Like,
okay,
you put him on a different team, any team. I think there's about 20 teams maybe 25 teams where he's the wide receiver 1 over what you already have. Like, in my mind, he's top 5.
I don't disagree whatsoever.
So I'm higher on this offense than you.
Okay. Offensive line, I'm at 2.3.
1.25.
Wow. Is that your 30? That's your 32 ranked unit then?
Yes. The only other teams that are ranked even close to that low are Cincinnati,
Giants,
Jacksonville, New York. God, where was New York for theirs? I should just sort by offensive line. It's truly pitiful. at this point.
Truly pitiful.
Oh, New England, Miami, Jacksonville, New York, the Jets. Those are some of the other teams near the bottom. Cleveland.
Okay. I have the Texans running out the 27th best offense.
I have the 23rd, I believe. A little higher than you.
I just got to tell you, man, minus 0.7 EPA per play last year for Stroud is a little bit of an eyebrow raiser.
And again, it's the context thing where we saw what he did. If you take little samples of games where he wasn't playing against good pass rushes that were, he was just fucked from the get-go because of the matchup up front, he's still very good. And honestly, he was very serviceable, actually above average under pressure. It just nobody can deal with that much pressure.
Yeah.
So I want to blame the offensive line and the play calling more than him. I still think he's top half of the league.
Okay. Defense, Bulls on parade, get a 6.4 for run stop for me. Very good run stop. 8.1 for pass rush. Absolute violent monsters. And a 7.5 in coverage. Although maybe I'm high on coverage because of the issues with the safety. CJ, GJ, and Ward. Not expecting anything out of Ward. And I think CJ, GJ probably first 4 weeks, maybe 6.
It's sounding a little rosier.
Oh, okay.
On CJ, GJ, where it's non-contact. It's like ACL. It's blown up. Now they're just like, I don't know. There was the ACL's intact. The worst case scenario is out of there, so don't really have like the full news on that. Honestly, they're saying could be back for week 1, which seems unfucking likely to me, but I don't know that he misses too much time.
Okay.
My ratings for defense, not too far off. Pass or run stop was 6.95. Pass rush, 7.9. I'm a little higher than you on secondary, 7.8.
Wow. Okay.
This is my number 1 defense.
It's number 2 for me after Denver, but it's pretty dang.
The combination of the
close.
secondary and I bumped up the pass rush and the secondary just because they both exist in tandem with each other and just making each other better. They're like cross group multipliers. Cross
pollinating.
Yeah, they are cross pollinating.
Intangibles, I'm stuck at a 5 for some reason. What do you think?
Oh, really? I mean, Laura went 4. I don't know he was middle of the pack, maybe a little low if I remember right on the, aggressiveness index. Yeah, he was low. And then adjustments, it's tough to make them when it's just their defense is beating their ass.
Stop losing your 1v1s offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I think his adjustments, and it's tough to say his adjustments on defense were good either because just like, keep playing really good guys, be elite more, 30 more minutes of that.
I guess I don't really have any other general thoughts on Ryan's yet. I don't know. He seems like a got a little Tomlin in him about leader of men stuff, but tough to say. Special teams.
Say his first name, Drew.
Who? DeMeco?
It's DeMeco. They always make fun of you on that.
I know. I did that on purpose.
I know.
What's
but we really didn't. His first year, we did not know.
I had no idea. Yeah, it was a long time. It took me a long time to get it.
Special teams is a 6, above average.
Okay.
Kaimi Fairbairn, baby. Tommy Townsend. Braxton Berrios returning.
My final number for the Houston Texans is a minus 0.24. They are my 18th best team.
I am above average. I'm at, this is a fun one for Houston, your old baseball team. This is a 4.45.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
0.45 to the good.
Oh, I thought you said 4.45, 0.45.
Oh, no. That
0.45.
would be 0.45. So they're above we won't say Mendoza line anymore because that's certainly not accurate. They're
they're above 500. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm projecting them to have 8.6 wins, even with a minus rating. And the market rating is 0.06. So I am 0.3 points lower than market. However, my difference in wins between Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, and Tennessee is negligible. They are all in the 7.7 to 8.6 range, which means this is anybody's game, which means we got to get the best price at some point on Tennessee after Cam Ward starts to learn how to play football.
Yeah, my expected wins are Tennessee 6.2, Indy 7.2, Jacksonville 8 flat, and Houston 8.7.
Not a wide range.
2.6 games between first and last place. And as we mentioned, if Houston's offense sputters under a new coordinator with a very much not rebuilt offensive line and Cam Ward plays a little better, that whole thing just gets squeezed into one big box of a mess of, it's the AFC South again. Let's do it.
Yep. I would not be betting anything futures Texans. They have a wide range of outcomes. So if you are bullish, take over the alt over. And if you're bearish, take under the alt under. I do have under the alt under, by the way. I took under 8.5 or under 7.5. I can't remember. But the key I think is really just prey on the high variability of this team because it's a wide range of outcomes. There's a world where Stroud is in the conversation for MVP. There's a world where they are talking about are we sure we want to extend him after this season? It is kind of wild, but that both I think exist. The defensive player of the year, I think Will Anderson is in the club of potential winners.
For sure.
I don't think Stingley is. I don't think Hunter is, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't see an offensive or defensive rookie of the year candidate. I don't think Ryans is a candidate for coach of the year, and I don't see a comeback player here. So it's really just, can Will Anderson do enough to lead this to being the best defense to carrying a miserable offense to a playoff spot to get DPOY, I think.
I think Hunter is in the mix as a sneaky, just sacks are sometimes a little random getting finished where it's like, all year long, he could be the second best defensive lineman as far as pass rush numbers, but sometimes just the way the quarterback, tries to escape and runs right into your arms, it just happens sometimes where somebody gets a bunch of sacks they maybe, I don't want to say don't deserve, because Danielle Hunter is a disruptive force, but with both of them playing, like Danielle Hunter getting 17, 18 sacks is well within the realm of possibilities, and suddenly he's just in the mix for it.
That sounds reasonable. All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. What my favorite way to bet the Texans is under 44 week 1. That's the only under. Whenever they play, that's the only under defense, I'm playing. Yeah, that's the only under I'm playing all week 1. By the way, because I am eyes wide open that this ball, the ball conditioning, the ball conditioner is going to be a factor for scoring early in the season. Do you have an opinion on that?
The ball conditioning for the kickers?
Yeah. Do you think that's going to be a factor?
I don't know if it's going to be a huge factor. It matters. I think, honestly, so a lot of people talk about like, oh, the field goal, we're going to bet longer field goals. I don't think it's strictly like length. It's almost like being able to string a racket tight and loose at the same time, where I think you also have the length and distance, but you also have a little more control.
Yeah, so more 44 to 55s going.
I'm thinking kickoffs. I'm thinking defensive field position, because of how they changed the kickoff rule, where people need to be landing it in that 0 to 10 to really, if you want to have a team starting at the 25 or worse, you need to be able to land a ball in a few spots like that. And I think there's going to be some kickers that are able to do that now that they're able to have a feel for the ball and get the balls how they like them.
Okay. Sure. All right. Well, let's call it. Good job. 32 out of 32 in the books. We'll touch base next week. Actually, we'll touch base Friday. Talk a little awards.
I think so. That'd be fun.
All right. Let's do that. Friday awards. And then next week we'll preview week 1 on Wednesday. And we got to talk about time, because I will be on island time.
Yeah. I'll get Drew's numbers from him, and we'll either tweet something out or we'll email something.
Oh, the final numbers after rosters are locked.
We will.
Yeah.
I need to touch up some of my numbers.
I've changed so many of mine since we did the previews. Especially the early ones. I was all over the fucking place.
Yeah, we'll do some going into the season numbers early next week. Drew and I will finalize, where we're at least
I had
on Monday.
So much stuff that was indexed improperly and looking at the wrong team name, and Jacksonville is JAC and JAKX, and if it's JAC, then it was grabbing Indianapolis. Yeah, all kinds of weird shit I needed to get fixed, and so I'm clean and ready to go now. I'll share it with everybody at some point.
All right. Hey, we'll see you guys. Appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. If you're a Houston fan, best of luck to your team. I hope they're good. Again, thanks to Circa Survivor for sponsoring these. We'll still mention them next week, you guys, too. It is not too late.
You have until Saturday. You have until Saturday, September the 6th.
Yeah.
At 2 p.m., I think, is the cutoff.
Yeah, I love it.
If you don't get there by then you're missing out on your chance to win the biggest prize pool in all of football contest history.
Smiling faces.
Is that you?